Good evening. Welcome to the Amentum Theater and the 2023 State of the City Address. We're pleased that you're here joining us to hear about our recap of the many things we've worked on with you in 2022 and what we will work on with you in the upcoming year. We're going to go ahead and begin our program this evening with an invocation from Dr. Tim McClendon, the pastor of St. John's United Methodist Church, to be followed by the presentation of colors by our Department of Public Safety's Color Guard, led by Lieutenant Matt Comer, and then the Pledge of Allegiance from Chief Charles Baranco, and our national anthem, which will be sung this evening by Aiken County Council Vice Chairman Andrew Siders. So if you are so inclined, please stand and join us in this opening portion of our program.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we are grateful for Aiken County, for Aiken. Indeed, as one of our number often says, if you're lucky enough to live in Aiken, you're lucky enough. So Lord, we are grateful. We're grateful for the leadership of this county, leadership of this town, leadership that is represented here of our state. Lord, bless us in all that we do, that we might do what is pleasing in your sight, that we might be civil in our discourse, that we might love our neighbors as much as we love ourselves, that we might put aside differences and that we might embrace unity and work toward that for the common good. Bless our mayor, bless the city council, bless all of our leadership, we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we've hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Order. Oh. Ready. Mark time. Mark.
Good evening. Welcome to the 2023 State of the City. It's great to see you here. In 2017, when we started our State of the City address, we added something to it called the Aiken Award. The Aiken Award is given out to recipients who are ambassadors for Aiken and who have increased the quality of life for our citizens. Tonight we have two winners who I think are both of those categories you can put checkbox in. So this time I'm going to step aside and let you watch the video for our first recipient.
I met Sam years and years ago in the early 70s, because 71 we started a store downtown, and he just always impressed me as somebody that had the betterment of Aiken in his heart, and I got to know his mom and dad. And they were, the police department was still down in the alley, and there was a place that was older, like a tavern, and I can't remember what they called it. I know on the street it was referred to as the Bloody Bucket because it was a rough place on the weekend, and it was right across the alley from the police department, and they came in and took over that building and renovated it, worked like dogs themselves, and made it into a thriving business called the Bowery. The Bowery was a great restaurant, and it was a family affair. His dad, Dudley, had lost part of his vision, and he had no peripheral vision, but he would stay there and work in the restaurant and do things. Bookkeeping was what he was so good at, and but they were just hard-working people.
I probably have known Sam since the late 1970s when I first started practicing law, and then I remember vividly the opening day of the Bowery because that happened to be the day that Sandy and I got married, and Sam was a young guy. I guess I remember Sam when he was working with Forrest Holly at the Commercial Hotel, trying to learn the restaurant business. Well, my recollection of the Bowery was it was a very small, it was just 2 rooms, and it was the beginning of the renaissance of the alley and to what it is today. It was a big risk, I'm sure, for him to undertake that, and he had a lot of help, and it was a family thing with his parents and then Donna. But he was a risk taker, and it certainly paid off, and he was at it 32 years.
If you know anything about Sam, he's probably one of the hardest working guys you'll ever come across. He never stops. I've helped him with some projects at his lake house. Sam's always got something going on. He's like just a busy bee. He's not a quitter. He won't tell you why he can't do the job. He's going to tell you how we can do the job and how we can work together to make it happen. He's one of those guys as far as he loves this city of Aiken, obviously. He cares about everything that goes on in this town. He wants to be a part of it, and this town is extremely important to him. This will always be home for Sam. He wants to, if he sees something that he thinks could improve you know, the downtown area or wherever in Aiken, Sam's gonna voice his opinion and say, hey, you know, we could make this a lot nicer. We could clean this up. We can do this. We can do that. Because he cares about this town.
Sam is a big supporter of downtown Aiken and Aiken itself. Does a very good job with Aiken Corporation. He's been involved with the Aiken Downtown Development Association, and he has always been a positive person to take risk, to get things done. He volunteers to help other people, help other businesses, to help other restaurants. The main thing that I remember was when the alley was when they decided to close the alley. You know, a lot of people were anti-closing the alley. He was very much for it. He was for it for a good reason, because he saw more family people coming down and more families being aboard. And he is for family, he is for progress, and he has a lot of vision. What I mean by Sam's vision is he visions things past his lifetime. He visions things more in the future of our children and our grandchildren. He's not looking at himself. He's very unselfish, and he's not looking at himself. He might not see these things that he is doing for future generations. He has always been a proponent of being a forward thinker. He's always been a proponent of being for the good of Aiken. Even if he has to take a step back, he always feels like it's 2 steps forward, and that's one thing that I did learn from him. And he has done a very good job of being a role model for a lot of people to really understand that it's not about us, it's about 100 years from now on how well Aiken's going to be served.
Sam, I'm so proud of you and this recognition of your many efforts on behalf of the community and the restaurant world. And I wish you all the best with all the good things that you have coming in the future. Congratulations.
Your parents obviously set the proper example before you, and I know how hard they worked. And I'm just proud of you. The whole town is, and you're very deserving of this award you're receiving. Sam, I've enjoyed working with you very much on all the committees, especially Aiken Corp. We've worked in ADDA together. You've always been a proponent of the alley. You've always gotten all of the restaurants together downtown and have done your thing and done the thing that's best for Aiken. You've always been the best for Aiken, and you always will be the best for Aiken.
Well, it's okay, Sam. I just want to congratulate you on your award. There's nobody that deserves it more than you. You truly are a visionary to this town, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person so that I can punch you in the arm and congratulate you. So look forward to that.
Our first 2023 winner, Sam, come on up. Alan, it wouldn't be completed until Alan takes his picture. Sam just said he feels like a rock star, and he is to us, isn't he? This year we were fortunate enough to have 2 winners, and I think you'll see after this video that both are very deserving. So at this time, let's show that second video.
What can I say about my daughter? She has always been independent, strong-willed, obedient, and I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. That's just the way she has always been. I remember probably the first time I noticed that I knew that she was exceptional was we were riding one day coming to town. She was probably in about the 2nd grade. And I noticed the sign, and I said, I read what was on the sign, and of course I'm driving. And she says, "No, that's not Mama." She said, and she told me what it was. And I glanced in the mirror and I'm thinking, okay, she was right. She was right, I was wrong all the time. I can't ever really remember having a problem with her. Sometimes she would, get a little, like children do, She didn't want to do something, but 9 times out of 10, Mama got away.
So I was trying to remember when I first met Carmen. Carmen volunteered at the Cumbie Center. Carmen, as a volunteer and as someone who was passionate and plugged into what issues are involved in those cases, I would have the opportunity to talk to her, and we could join and assess a case based on her knowledge and her understanding of what was happening that day. So it was an eyes-on situation that she brought as almost a witness to a witness, and it was a very powerful thing.
Carmen and I immediately bonded. Carmen is a very outgoing, motivated, high-energy person, and she and I just got along well. I hope I supported her, but she certainly supported me and United Way and our efforts in raising funds annually to support nonprofits in our area. Carmen, as well as, most of our agency directors, that's the beauty of giving to United Way, is that nonprofits, and particularly people like Carmen, are able to fund a lot of their programs through grant writing, volunteers. We stretch $1, and Carmen certainly was a master at doing that.
So it was quite evident when Carmen came to Helping Hands that she had done her research and that she had a background in trauma care or dealing with people with trauma. So one of the things Carmen did as soon as she got there, she made sure that her key folks began to receive training, or what's called trauma-focused therapy or trauma-focused training. So she made sure that all of us were connected to that so we could respond to the children, not just don't do this or don't do that, but kind of back up to why is this child doing this, and let's respond to the child from the why they're doing it instead of just responding to the blatant behavior. She herself was already involved with advocacy through PATHCAF, so she's a part of that. She's part of that board, a part of that group, and they deal with legislation and lobbying to make sure they're out front and making sure that the legislatures are paying attention to children and the needs of children, and that they're making their decisions with them in mind. So she's out there lobbying, she's out there in that regard as well. She's very connected with DSS. She stayed very close to them, and them knowing, about Helping Hands, attending meetings, being a part of committees that help to write documentation that bettered group homes. So she's always, from what I understand and what I know, being in the front for the children, even at Helping Hands, walking around the building, being a part of things, because she was the executive director, the CEO. She didn't have to necessarily be in the programs, but to just walk around. They knew her as the short lady with the dog, her dog Winston.
Teenage pregnancy was a huge problem in Aiken County and a lot of the state some years ago, and Carmen took it upon herself to work with people in the community as well as people around the state in order to bring programs into Aiken County, such as Aiken Youth Empowerment, which would drive these numbers down. We went into middle schools in particular with these programs, the infant simulators, the parent power, the girls' circles, the boys' programs, to make sure that teenagers were aware of, you know, just getting off track and off kilter, and keeping them focused and giving them self-esteem and confidence so that they weren't looking in the wrong places for the love and affection and things that some of these children who didn't get it at home were so dramatically looking for.
Carmen understands, and there's several things that has stuck with me. Children. And one of the things that she recognized in her responsibilities, that children need love. And that is in two ways with Carmen. Love takes time, and her agency and the workers took time to embrace them, to show them that they were a caring staff, and they were there to meet their needs. So to our mayor, Mayor Osbon, to the general public who is here this evening, the City Council, I cannot think of a better candidate to offer this prestigious award to than Carmen Landy. And Carmen, we know that you're working on your PhD. I'm going to claim it and say, Dr. Carmen Landy, we are so proud of you, and we thank you for all that you've done to advance Aiken County, taking our children, these are our children, under your wings and ensuring them a safe place so that they could be housed and just move into society at some point in time and be contributors of society. Thank you, Carmen, and may God bless you wherever you land.
And you were always up to making sure that if United Way needed a speaker, we had one. And I'm always making sure that it was motivational and uplifted. I can't think of a person that is more fun to be around. You and Winston, keep doing what you're doing, girl, because there's great things in store for Carmen Landy.
Carmen, I didn't tell it all. You know, with certain things, it's a pinky swear. We couldn't. But I am so proud of you. I am so proud to be your friend, and I'm so proud of your accomplishments. But most of all, girlfriend, I am looking forward to what you're doing next.
What you've provided to Aiken is everything that Aiken should be. So again, congratulations, and I'm so excited for you. I know that you will continue to go on and grow and do tremendous things.
I am so proud of you, and you know that. I tell you all the time how proud I am of what you have accomplished. What else can I say but I love you?
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our second award winner tonight, Ms. Carmen Landy. Two great winners this year. Well, good evening again. Welcome. We certainly want to thank everyone for being here. We're honored to see you, our delegation, our county council members, the chairman. It really is an honor to see you today. January 2020. That seems like so long ago now. And it really is, especially based on all that we've gone through together as a nation and a city since then. That's the last time we were able to gather and take part in this annual tradition we call State of the City. It's really nice to be back in person after 2 years of pandemic and social distancing, isn't it? Yeah. We come together tonight to celebrate our achievements, recognize our setbacks, and refocus on our shared goals as a city. Really is one big family in the coming year. Speaking of the COVID-19 pandemic and all the pain it brought us, and the staggering toll it had on friends and family we lost to the disease, and the suffering of those who fell ill with it, some multiple times, and because of all the inconveniences and disruptions it caused us in our lives, professional and personal. I'd like to start off with one pandemic-related item that just speaks volume about the community and its character. In March of 2020, when the world seemed to shut down in the face of the pandemic, our business community was confronted with challenges like none of us had ever seen before, and we hope we'll never face again. I can sure tell you my small business took it on the chin. In the face of all that, most of you will recall that the city and a group of partners, the Chamber of Commerce, the Aiken Corporation, and Security Federal Bank, acted quickly to raise a $1 million emergency loan fund to assist our small businesses in our community. Even more amazingly, the program was up and running in just 4 days. This was long before the federal emergency funding and the PPP programs were rolled out. That program allowed us to rapidly get assistance into the hands of businesses who found themselves unable to open their doors, much less operate or pay their employees. The big news, the great story for today is that what happened was after all these loans went out to the 47 merchants we know and love, people we see in the streets each and every day, who we go to church with on Sunday, the experts at the time warned us that 35% or more of these loans would end up being defaults under the circumstances involved. Well, I'm here to say that the experts were wrong. They were wrong about the kind of community Aiken is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that all loans issued were paid back on time, in full, late last year. Every single penny. That is really a testament to not only the confidence that we had in our businesses, but also the caliber and character of the businesses in our community. It's just fantastic. Before I leave anyone with the false impression that no one else played a huge role in the success that we had, now is a good time for me to introduce a team that I depend on so much and which is so devoted to serving the people of our community. Of course, I'm referring to my colleagues here at the Aiken City Council, and I'd like to introduce them to you at this time. Councilwoman Andrea Gregory, Councilwoman Kay Broll, Councilwoman Gail Diggs, Councilman Ed Giardo, Councilwoman Leslie Price, and Councilman Ed Waltz. Would you join me in giving them a hand? They are colleagues and teammates in every real sense. I may be the mayor, but each of these votes count exactly the same as mine, and we can't do anything without supporting each other. Thank you for all your service, all your sacrifice, and the loving care you have for the city. We make quite a team, and I'd like to recognize at this time our families also, because without their support, we couldn't do it. Thank you for your patience and your understanding when sometimes meetings might go a little long. Speaking of City Council duty and service, I want to take just a moment to remember an important former member of that team, one who more than exemplified all of those things, my predecessor, Fred Kavanaugh. Mayor Fred passed away on December 28th, 2022. He served as mayor of the city for 24 years before he retired in 2015. Before becoming mayor, he was first elected to the City Council in 1985. During his tenure, Mayor Fred had many notable accomplishments, included guiding the city through 2 decades of growth and development while maintaining Aiken's uniqueness and character. Mayor Kavanaugh often noted that he was most proud of the Character First initiative that he was instrumental in bringing to the city. The program recognizes positive character traits such as sincerity, forgiveness, and discretion. The banners seen throughout our downtown and our city parks highlighting the value of these traits are all a part of the legacy of this man who I'll always remember as my mayor. On a personal note, Mayor Fred was close to me and my family and regularly would ask about my children. He was a God-fearing man whose legacy will continue to live on as the impact the mayor has had on our city will be recognized for generations to come. His leadership and ability to bring people together made him a special person. He was a kind and quiet leader whose words carried much weight and were respected by all, something I spent every day of my tenure hoping to come close to replicating. He was a mentor to me, and I'll always be grateful for his friendship. Can we have a brief moment of silence in his honor? Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call our state delegation together, and Chairman Young. The delegation would like to make a presentation to Ms. Lee Kavanaugh, who is with us today. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. I am honored to be here tonight with 4 of my colleagues from the Aiken County Legislative Delegation, Representative Bill Clyburn, Representative Bart Blackwell, Representative Bill Taylor, and Representative Melissa Aremus. And we are here to present Mrs. Kavanaugh the flags that flew over the State House that were lowered to half-mast on January 4th in memory and in honor of Mayor Kavanaugh for his lifetime of public service and in the extraordinary legacy that he left to all of us here in Aiken. And we would like for, if she would please come forward so that we can present her with these on behalf of the Governor of South Carolina. We're going to present them to her and tell her how much we love her and how much we miss Mayor Kavanaugh, and we're honored to be here to present this on behalf of Governor McMaster.
Thank you, Lee. We love you. Tonight, I'd also like to recognize the efforts of the dozens of volunteers who serve at on the city's all-important boards and commissions. As city council members, we appoint these folks and ask them to spend a lot of time and effort weighing very important and often difficult questions to help guide us. Do we have board and commission members with us tonight? If so, would you please stand? Can we give them an applause? Thank you for what you do for serving our city. Certainly none of us, council or the boards or commissions, could get anything accomplished without our city manager, Stuart Beedenbow, and his management of our greatest asset, the 400 plus people who work for the city. They make Aiken safe and productive each and every day. Let's have our city employees who are here to please stand so we can give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's really nice to be able to give all these elected and appointed and staff public servants a hearty round of applause, isn't it? It's no secret that public service today comes with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of expectations, and more than its fair share of criticism. Don't get me wrong, this is a government of and by the people. The people who elect us should hold us to account and to the highest standards. Passions run high around issues, and we rarely all agree on the best course of action. But we can and must disagree with civility more often than has been the case in recent years. This year, I've been honored to serve as president of the South Carolina Municipal Association, a group that represents and works in support of the 271 cities and towns in our state. One of the primary goals of the organization this year has been an initiative to promote civility in local government and to clearly recognize the responsibilities of both the elected officials and the public we serve. That program has sought ways to avoid the pitfalls of anger and dysfunction by working collaboratively to concentrate on what we all have in common instead of what separates us. I believe that one of the biggest challenges facing Aiken and all of our cities and towns is governing in a time when disagreements turn ugly and compromise tends to be a four-letter word. Let me tell you, businesses, industry, corporations, and manufacturing do not want to locate in a place that isn't friendly for its workers and their families. We must be responsive to the needs and desires of our people while creating a place where executives want to locate and hire our residents into better and better paying jobs. Local officials are often challenged by residents and even sometimes by colleagues who are negative, offer no solution, and constantly criticize every plan and proposal. We need to work together to make our government more welcoming, inclusive, and open to new ideas. If we can just treat each other as we'd like to be treated, there will be no end to the consensus we can build and the things we can achieve. We have to stop from all sides approaching every discussion as a win-lose scenario. As your mayor and as a council, we must engage the public and those with the strongest opinions early and often. We must engage and invite more people and ideas to the table in an effort to discover win-wins. I can only hope the public can appreciate that, participate fully, and respond in kind. So what do you say? Who's for a more kindness and understanding in 2023? Now that we've got that covered, the city of Aiken had an incredible and busy year in 2022. While we did endure some challenges, the city had many important achievements and accomplishments, which should make us all proud. Lots of those win-wins here. Aiken continues to be a sought-after location to live, work, and play. Every day, our city council works to leave Aiken better than we found it and to ensure that draw always remains strong. One of the things I'm most proud of in the Aiken Business is the Aiken Business Coalition Entrepreneurship Program, which we launched in 2022. This innovative program provides local entrepreneurs with training and capital to succeed and involved important partners such as Security Federal Bank, the Aiken Chamber of Commerce, Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce, and the Aiken County branch of the NAACP. In the all-important area of public safety, we've invested in the purchase of 3 new fire engines and a new ladder truck, 4 additional take-home vehicles for ADPS officers, and investment in an expanded camera system. City Council recognizes the critical work of our public safety officers, what they do every day to keep our community safe. We will continue to support their efforts and changing needs in recognition of their invaluable service. We've committed to improvements in city parks and facilities. 2 parks, Calmia Hill Park and Crosland Park, received upgrades and improved equipment this year based on feedback from the community. Smith Hazel Recreation Center and Park is slated to receive many updates in the coming year thanks to 2022 grant funding that will improve this important neighborhood park as well as the facility and its accessibility. We've secured significant funding for new and improved infrastructure with confirmed funding from the State Infrastructure Bank announced in August 2022. The Powder House Connector project is now fully funded and construction can begin very soon. This infrastructure improvement is projected to reduce traffic on Whiskey Road by as much as 24%, thanks to the effort of our legislative delegation. The city also has $25 million secured from the plutonium settlement that will be used for downtown and north side improvements. In 2022, thank you. We want to thank our delegation for their hard work. In 2022, we saw the completion of important construction projects. The city's new municipal building was completed on time and on budget. The careful renovation and expansion of the 1930s building is a beautiful example of downtown redevelopment and serves as a downtown landmark providing vital municipal services. The Hitchcock Woods Stormwater Project showcased the power of partnerships, teamwork, and innovation to solve a decades-old stormwater issue that resulted in a beautiful downtown park, and it protects the unparalleled Hitchcock Woods. And this is just a small selection of all that's been accomplished this year. Now, I'd be remiss not to mention the Downtown Redevelopment Project. All of us learn from the valuable citizen feedback and involvement. Our government works better with public participation. And while it isn't always easy, I'm grateful for those who contribute their time and ideas. I expect we will see positive improvements in the downtown core in the coming year because of it. As a matter of fact, would anyone like to hear a little bit more about that? About where we think we might be headed with our downtown? I thought that might be the case. There are a lot of questions out there, and hopefully we can begin finding those answers together tonight and in the coming days and weeks. Mark Twain once said, "The secret of getting ahead is getting started." The secret of getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming task into small, manageable tasks and starting on the first one. To talk about those first steps and thoughts that City Council planned to bring to the public for discussion and consideration, I'd like to invite a member of our team, Mayor Pro Tem Ed Waltz, to the podium so that he can set the stage for us. Councilman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last several weeks, I've been asked to take lead for council in exploring a plan that I think is great, one that will be one of those major win-wins the mayor just mentioned. As you may know, Governor Henry McMaster and our legislative delegation have committed to investing in a new workforce development center for the Savannah River National Laboratory. This new building is to be located more centrally than the lab's aging and remote facilities that's at the Savannah River site. Now, this is so important that the state has set aside $20 million in plutonium settlement funding to get it built. That's $20 million. That's in addition. That's in addition to the $25 million the mayor just mentioned. That's $45 million of investment. It's important to mention at this point that I may be up here leading this charge, but the credit is not mine. The idea belongs to others. Former Aiken Municipal Development Corporation members Chairman Keith Wood, Vice Chairman Christopher Reens, and Chamber of Commerce President David Jameson really identified this as an opportunity more than 1 year ago. Thank you, David. They have worked tirelessly lobbying to get the funds for it and to have it located here in Aiken. My hat's off to them for teeing this up when it was needed. Even when the funds seemed like a done deal last year, the question is where would it be built stayed up in the air. Could it be downtown Aiken or would it be just outside the gate at SRS? What a night. I am pleased to say that downtown Aiken has been selected as SRNL's overwhelming preference. It doesn't hurt that while all this was taking place at about the same time, it became clear that some very nice downtown property the city owns, right across the street, just might be available for a new and better idea. Sometimes a better plan comes along just when you least expect it. First, let me be clear, none of this is finalized, and City Council has just had initial discussions about it, and so we're not close to finalizing. In fact, I'm asking tonight the city staff schedule a public forum within the next 2 weeks to gather input, thoughts, and concerns as we begin looking at the possibilities of that as a city and council. So look for that in 2 weeks. Let me share with you some of the thoughts council has had about initial discussions and we'll begin exploring fully over the next few months. This will provide for a 40 to 45,000 square foot office and exhibition space requested by SRNL between B Lane, Newberry Street, and Richland Avenue. The building will house approximately 100 or more paid SRNL workers with a rotating group of faculty and students from SRNL's University Collaborative. That group of universities includes the University of South Carolina, Clemson University, South Carolina State University, University of Georgia, and Georgia Tech. The building would also have a dedicated space for USC Aiken and provide education and outreach downtown. The plan is to preserve the existing businesses on the block, leaving Newberry Hall, untouched. Relocate warranty cleaners to the buildings at front Richland Avenue. These retail buildings on Richland Avenue would be rented and upgraded as part of the project, and the Thai restaurant would remain on Richland Avenue. The proposal will allow for the Johnson Drug Store here on the corner of Richland and Newberry to undergo historic renovation and preserve it and return the exterior to more of its original look. So now the only anticipated demolition that would be the dry cleaning building, the motel strip along B Lane that was built in 1981, and perhaps the old gun shop or finance company on Richland Avenue. The next big question, what about parking? We need to plan ahead for parking and the demand created by this project. We do that through creating a surface parking lot across from St. John's Church on Newberry, and that would provide dedicated workday parking for SRNL employees that would be available to the public and the churchgoers nights and weekends. We'd also be looking for the possibility of more parking behind the room we're in right now, which would be a structured facility that would be a lot next to the new municipal building, providing between the two spaces somewhere between 250 and 300 parking spaces. Now, I've just outlined it, but I want to bring someone up here who knows a lot more about this than any of us. That is Dr. Vahid Majid, the director of the SRNL lab. Please welcome Dr. Majid.
Well, good evening, everybody. Just want to remind you it's a kinder year, 2023. So we're going to start on that note. 5 years ago, I moved to Aiken to become the director of Savannah River National Laboratory. I came here because the laboratory had a reputation for being able to consistently get the work done, but also because I knew it had the largest potential for growth amongst all national laboratories. Just 3 years ago, the Department of Energy acted on their long-standing vision of an enduring national laboratory in South Carolina and created an opportunity for the lab to be operated as an independent national laboratory. The purpose of a national laboratory is to address large, complex research and development challenges with a multidisciplinary approach. Savannah River National Laboratory is the newest national laboratory under the Department of Energy. Nationwide, there are 17 DOE national labs, and SRNL is the only lab in Carolina serving the southeast region of the United States, along with our good partners at Oak Ridge National Laboratories. One of the disadvantages of being a short laboratory director is that somebody else has to adjust your microphone for you. Today, our laboratory is operated by Battelle Corporation with University of South Carolina, Clemson, South Carolina State University, University of Georgia, and Georgia Institute of Technology. Our mission is ensuring America's security and prosperity by addressing its energy, environmental, and nuclear challenges through transformative science and technology solutions. We create high-quality jobs in central Savannah River area and are an enduring economic engine, attracting not only professionals from all across the country, but also advanced science and technology-based companies to CSRA. SRNL achieved its mission by attracting, motivating, and training a diverse and highly skilled workforce to execute on complex DOE programs. This new facility in Aiken allows the laboratory to have a more direct presence in the community we serve, with the goal of developing a pipeline of new talent as well as developing the existing employee base. It will also complement our brand new Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative at USC Aiken, creating a hub for partnership with industry and academia. What else are we planning to put in this building? Well, I should emphasize that this Savannah River National Laboratory building is being designed for only computational and administrative work. We don't have any chemicals, hoods, or hazardous material in this facility. There is a joke there somewhere, right? SRNL employees will perform some of our computational modeling and simulation. We'll have a team of employees working with the university to increase our engagement with faculty, postdoctoral and graduate students, interns, and minority-serving institution programs. Some of our employees will work on non-proliferation training programs, while others will work on workforce development and HR functions. Moreover, as a collaboration hub, this facility will host faculty and students and allows for scientific gatherings, including technical discussions, poster presentations, and other student programs. We will have the next generation classroom space for training sessions and will support remote learning environments. We will host science and technology, engineering, and math camps for teacher development workshops with a specific focus on K through 12. University of South Carolina Aiken will have an enduring presence through their workforce development program. I'm very much looking forward to expanding our activities with USC Aiken, both in this new facility and the Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative building. But most importantly, this building is the community face of the laboratory. A portion of this building will be open to the public to foster community awareness of the work we do at SRNL and its benefits to the society. The lobby will display our most recent scientific work, and this facility is the first stop for all new laboratory employees upon their entry for onboarding and training. It takes a great community to make something like this possible. I want to make sure that I take a moment to recognize Governor Henry McMaster's hard work to identify this need and to allocate the $20 million for this facility. We're grateful for Governor McMaster's enduring support. Moreover, we are grateful to the South Carolina state legislatures for their wisdom to recognize the need and the necessity for this building to help us bring the laboratory to the community. I also want to recognize the City of Aiken, the Mayor's Office, and the City Council members for their steadfast supports to bring this project to reality. I want to recognize the Department of Energy for selecting the Battelle-Savannah River Alliance as the management and operating company for the laboratory to create an enduring capability in South Carolina. This building, along with the Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative, brings the Savannah River National Laboratory into the heart of the Aiken community. We plan to be a productive citizens and hope to have a broader impact to our community. I'm proud to live in Aiken, and I thank you all for your support of the laboratory and the Department of Energy. Thank you.
It's very exciting. Vahid, thank you and your team for choosing Aiken. Ed, thank you for taking the lead on exploring this for council. I look forward to seeing it become a reality. So in full disclosure, I won't be directly involved in the planning for those specific parcels involving SRNL because, as you know, Warnicki Cleaners and my business, Osbon's Cleaners, are friendly competitors. But it sounds like these plans are doing a good job in protecting their business and keeping them in place on that block, which nothing could make me happier, I assure you. Why are we so excited about SRNL locating their offices here in downtown? Well, the Department of Energy's 17 national laboratories are powerhouses of science and technology. Their researchers tackle some of the world's toughest challenges. Their laboratories support scientists and engineers from academia, government, and industry with access to specialized equipment, world-class research facilities, and skilled technical staff. Together, they are working to solve some of the world's greatest scientific challenges. The national laboratories have been improving lives for more than 80 years. From innovations in energy technologies and sustainable building design to medical discoveries and improved national security, national laboratory scientists and engineers are inventing solutions that make America and the world safer, healthier, and more sustainable. The national laboratories conduct research and development that address the Department of Energy's core mission in energy, science, national security, and environmental stewardship. It is often said that the laboratories exist to tackle particularly difficult problems that fall beyond the capabilities of private industry and individuals and universities. Each laboratory contributes specific core competencies, unique facilities, and research teams representing an array of disciplines to push the boundaries of science, engineering, and technology. Now, all that said, keep in mind that SRNL science labs, and I'm going to repeat this, are going to stay where they are. And this downtown facility will be a high-tech office and collaboration space, not wet labs at all. There you go. This project, along with the related advanced manufacturing collaborative being built on the campus of USC Aiken, really allows our community to stake a claim to the future. We can really cement ourselves as a part of the growing knowledge economy. Another thing I'm personally very excited about is that I've mostly been on the sidelines in matters related to the Hotel Aiken and its future for quite some time because of the cleaners. Now that we're exploring breaking the properties and projects on that block into smaller, more manageable pieces, as our friend Mark Twain suggested, it's likely I'll be able to get more involved in planning for the future of that all-important property on that crucial corner of Lawrence and Richland. So what's the plan moving ahead for the hotel? The plan is to let the free market make the decision with lots of input and guidance from the public, the experts, any and all potential buyers, and the City Council. Within the next 45 to 60 days, the plan is to craft a very broad request for proposals to purchase the hotel. There will be no preconceived ideas about what needs to be done with it, just a list of the parcels, a description of the buildings as they stand, and call for interested parties to make an offer to tell us their plan for it. The RFP will encourage proposers to help our city with the important work of repurposing and complementing our historic downtown assets. The request will not suggest a future use for the property. Potential buyers may want it to be a hotel once again. That'd be great. Others may suggest condos or apartments. And still others may suggest a great idea that has never occurred to any of us. Here's another important promise to you. Shortly after those proposals are received and opened by city staff, those that meet some basic qualifications will be released to the public. Each and every one of us will be able to evaluate what the plans are, what purchase price is offered, and what incentives a potential buyer might ask for. All of it. Keep in mind, the plan is for the private sector to pay for creating a profitable business at that site. In my opinion, no proposal that asks the city to foot the bill for the actual renovations or construction should seriously be considered. That said, if we all review the proposals together as a community and find one worth pursuing, we'll do just that. If not, we'll reject them all and start again. That's my promise to you. While we're talking about downtown, I have some other news that I'm excited about this evening. Since the city's moved its offices out of the former municipal building last spring, there have been lots of questions about what will happen to this historic building. While I don't have a final answer for you this evening, I can tell you that I have had extensive discussions with the leadership of the Aiken County government. City Council has discussed the best use for the building moving forward, and there appears to be a consensus that offering it for sale to the county to house the solicitor's office is the best path forward. Having the solicitor's office there would likely play a key role in keeping the county courthouse downtown, as Chairman Bunker has suggested. We hope to have an agreement drafted between the city and county for both councils to review and consider in the near future. I'd like to thank the chairman for his vision and commitment to this win-win scenario for both the city and the county. Thank you. Thank you, County Council. In the meantime, I appreciate all of you for joining us this evening for what I hope has been an informative presentation. I believe we will have a successful and productive 2023. God bless Aiken. God bless each of you. Good night.